Hi there, this is Adam Jones from Boatlife Fishing. Hope you guys are well. Welcome to Conway. We are at the Boatfolk Marina in Conway. Today we are going out on the water. Finally the spring has sprung. It's a little bit cold, but the weather is fine. We're going to head out and try and find some fish and have a look at the local area. Today we are with Gav Williams from Small Boat Sea Fishing, Mr. John Locker from the Fish Locker. We're popping out on a Merry Fisher 795 with Michael, who's a customer of the Boatfolk Marina down here in Conway. We're going to try and find some fish and show you guys a little bit more of what Conway has to offer before the championship, which is going to be here on the 18th and 19th of May. So if you haven't already and you've got a small boat and you want to enter into the privateers competition on the Sunday, then get yourself onto the website. The link will be in the description of this video. It's not that far away and it's going to be a fantastic weekend up here in North Wales. So let's get on the boat, meet the guys and head out to catch some fish. Right, so we are out on the boat, and like I said, I've got Mr. John Locker and Gav Williams from Small Boat Sea Fishing UK. How are you, lads? You all right, Gav?
Good, all good.
Good man. How are you, John?
Very good, thank you.
It's good to be back out on the water doing some fishing. It feels like we've finally got a gap in the ridiculous weather. So we are in Gav's backyard, pretty much. You can basically see on the other side over there, we've got the entrance to the Menai Straits. That's your kind of stomping ground, right?
It is, right on my back door, luckily enough, yeah.
It's great, thanks for bringing us out. So I mean, today, like I said, we're in Conway. This is the location for the Fishing Championship that's coming up on the 18th and 19th of May. We'll talk about that later on. But the plan for today is just to get out and do some fishing, right, lads?
It is, yeah. I'm not going to lie, the fish has been pretty poor over the last few weeks, but I think if we, round the rocks here using ragworm, I think we will pick up pollock, wrasse, the whiting.
We had a bit of a talk about it before, and you can see yourself there's a bit of cobweb in the water.
Yeah.
The plankton, the algal blooms started early.
Yeah.
Looking around on Navionics, we've picked up a couple of marks which think look fishy. We'll get some pollock and some wrasse from these inshore marks and possibly try a couple of the banks later on.
Amazing.
Just scratch around and try and find some fish, but it's all just using a little bit of watercraft, a little bit of knowledge of the local area to try and pick out this fishing. Such a lovely morning.
Well, it's beautiful, and one thing that we said as we were coming out of Conway, it is an incredible piece of real estate. This North Wales coastline is just gorgeous, isn't it?
It really is. It's stunning, and I think being a local, you just kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
I think with the people that are going to be fishing in the championship here in a few weeks' time, they're going to they're in for a surprise. Yeah,
it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So first thing I'll say, if you haven't signed up already, then click the link that'll be in this video and get yourself a registration for the privateers event coming up on the 18th and 19th. Right, let's go and see if we can catch a few fish. See you in a bit. And catch a few fish we did. John was quickly off the mark with a couple of small pollock. There really is nothing more beautiful than these tiny little pollock. They've got a coloration that is very different to the bigger fish. And Gav was off the mark quickly with some mackies as well. Great to see some mackerel knocking about, but he decided to switch over to a metal jig to try for something bigger. And he did exactly that, picking up a lovely little pollock in absolutely stunning scenery. These cliffs really are amazing. We found a little pollock hole, as you can see from the other boats that came to join us, catching loads of little ones, and we had a few more casts, just enjoying ourselves on the water until we bumped in to Caroline Dawson from Suplas, who's just about to head to the Amazon. Amazing. Right, so we've just moved spots. Gav's just bringing up the rods just to check the bait. So I had a couple of little knocks and taps. Talk us through, obviously we've moved away from the rocks, what we're doing at the moment.
So we've moved over to an area of sand, what looks like a bit of a sandy feature.
Yeah.
And we're just using a 2-down rig, hopefully to pick up some flatties, some dabs, some schoolie bass. So I'm just bringing up the rig now to see to check the baits and see if we've got anything on.
There's been quite a lot of taps, hasn't there? But nothing really. Does it feel like there's anything on that one?
There's a few little taps there. Could be something small.
So small, in fact.
So small that there's nothing there.
But the bait's still there. That's the main thing.
It's not that bait. There's half a bait left.
Right. Okay.
So we've had an inquiry. Something's been there. So we'll rebait and go again.
We go again. And go again, they did. They spent some time talking on the back of the boat, trying to work out how to target these fish over the top of a sandbank, and it wasn't long before the taps started coming.
I was hoping that as we were leading up the bank, there was going to be a flatfish, and as we come down up backside, there was going to be like a gurnard or a bass or something hiding behind back at bank.
These mackerel strips seem to be working better, aren't they?
There's not much that'll turn its nose up on a fresh piece of mackerel. A little bit of mackerel belly strip. But I might change the rigs round. If we don't get any decent bites or fish on any of the rods, I'll change the hook sizes. Because like I said, the size 1s on them, and I'll put you down to size 4s.
All right.
It was after that first bite that we got where the rod hooked right over, and when you brought it up, it come off. I just thought I know there was a fish there.
Yeah.
It's just matching the right hook size to it. You only catch what's there.
That's it.
I've said it a few times as well that you can catch a big fish on a small hook, but you can't catch a small fish on a big hook. Soft ground feature like this as well, it's susceptible to being netted, to being trawled, to being ever so many other things. So you don't know the ground. Because I'm not from the area, like my own turf, I would know where they go netting, I know where they go potting, I know where they go trawling. Here you've kind of got to figure it all out, haven't you? We've tried down this side of the bank.
Yeah.
If you can take us up this side here, we'll maybe get more of a drift
Alongside
up along the top of it because of the direction that we're going.
Okay.
So we'll give it another couple of 2 minutes because we're getting a couple of little rattles on here. That's getting a bite on it. But it's just, I think we've just got a little dab of something following it. They give a hell of a bite for the size dabs. And you're fishing offshore, you see one going, you think,
Was that gurnard the same?
Yeah.
You'd have never have thought it was that small when
Bring it up and it'll be like size at palm of your
when
hand.
it took the bait. Small hook.
Tiny.
That looks like a decent one.
Might be a place. Trying to go back.
Oh, a little flick of the tail there. Yeah.
Heavy line.
Yeah.
No fish.
That's it, holding that. Right, Gav, we have retired into the cabin of this Merry Fisher 795. It's a beautiful day, to be fair. It's lovely out there, but it is cold, isn't it?
It's stunning, but that wind has got a sharp bite to it.
Yeah,
it really is cold.
It really is, especially now we've come off those rocks. You just stood in that back left corner and you look pretty frozen.
It's nippy. It is nippy, but yeah, nice and warm in here.
Yeah, it's lovely in here. So today, obviously, we're just scratching around, having some fun, catching a few fish. But the main reason we're here is obviously the championship, which is coming up on the 18th and 19th of May. The main reason that obviously you're here today as well is the privateers side of the event. I know obviously you're going to fish in the 2-day event, but the privateers event on the Sunday with a bit of food and drink and music on the Saturday night, a bit of a social at the marina. So tell me a little bit about Small Boat Sea Fishing first and your group that you've got on Facebook.
So Small Boat Sea Fishing UK was started probably 10 years ago, it was just a group of friends that got together. They wanted to share some photos, some catch reports, and just general chit chat really about fishing, boats, engines, things like that.
Yeah.
And over time it just grew and grew. There was 3 of us, maybe 4 of us at the time, and we were just running it between us. It was really good, and we started getting sort of more and more people requesting to join, and we were like, yeah, come on board, it's fine. And then over the years it just went crazy. What started off as, like I said, a group of friends has now got almost 30,000 followers on there.
Amazing.
It's really good. It's a good friendly platform as well, like I said, where people could just share their ideas and their reports and stuff. It's really good.
It's really cool. I think the cool thing about it is it just shows the power of that community of small boat fishermen in the UK, and I think that segues nicely into the championship and obviously the privateers side of this event across the country, but obviously mainly focusing on Conway. It's really cool to see, you know, Rich, the guy that obviously looks after Boatlife, the owner of Boatlife Fishing, really investing in UK boat fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've got to give it to him, because if it wasn't for him, things like this wouldn't happen around the UK. So for him to have taken this on board and trying to get, like you said, the privateer side of it, to get the small boats on board, it's especially for Conway in the area, it really is, it's massive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, like I said, we're going to have a social on Saturday night and then a privateers event on the Sunday. Coming out of Conway, you know this area pretty well. What sort of species are you looking at around here?
So Conway itself, I'm actually from Menai Bridge, which is just around the corner from here, which the fishing side of it isn't too different, but we're looking at, you know, you'll get your pollock, you'll get your wrasse, you'll get your whiting, you might get the schoolie bass, your usual dogs.
Yeah.
And then your bigger species, if you want to try anchoring over some sand, you might get your rays and your huss. And there's also a chance for some decent taupe around here as well, which is good fun. Good fun. Yeah.
That's cool. Really decent taupe? What sort of size are we looking at?
So a lot of the taupe that I've had has been north side of Anglesey.
Yeah.
And I've had them up to about £80.
That's
so there's
cool.
some good sized taupe, yeah. But also the bass fishing as well. The bass fishing's really good. You know, like I said, there's a lot of schoolie bass.
Yep.
Biggest I had £12. So to go by, you know, there's some good bass about. But you've just got to get out there and find them.
And that was this time of year as well, wasn't it?
That was this time last year. It was April the 9th,
wow.
23.
You got it marked in the calendar.
I have, yeah. It's a day I'll never forget.
What a fish that is. So, you know, we've said it in the video so far, but if you haven't already, sign up for the privateers event on the Sunday. Come down. We're going to have an amazing social on Saturday night and a great event on Sunday. And also, if you haven't already joined Small Boat Sea Fishing, and to be honest, if you're into small boats and sea fishing, you're probably on your group already. But if you haven't, then obviously get onto Facebook, check out Gav's group, get yourself on there. There's loads and loads of cool posts, well worth doing. But hopefully, we'll see you guys come at the championship event from the 18th to the 19th.
Fish are chasing the bait, so they're having to swim to catch up. So every single time you get a bite, swim to bite it, swim to bite it. When you get a good bite, you're better off letting the bail arm up, giving it some slack, counting to 3 or 4, and re-engaging the bail arm, letting the boat drift, and then giving it a light lift. And if the fish is there, really, and if it's not, just keep drifting. The reason why you give it a bit of line is so the fish can catch it, chew it, and get it in its mouth. Yeah, it's just about doing the best that you can with the information that you've got. A couple of days of doing this and you sharp pin down where the fish are. There's ever so many different species of fish that live in the sand. Dabs and flounders. Soles, turbot and brill. We've also got gurners that live on it, but there's 2 species of weaver fish that also live in the sand. There's a little one that's about the size of a cigarette lighter. It's called a lesser weaver. They're the ones that like kids will stand on in the summer. They're venomous spikes stick through to the leg. There's also a greater weaver that goes like 10 inches, 12 inches long. They're delicious.
Right, so we've moved back over to the cliffs. We've just been over to a sandbank, managed to catch a dogfish and a few other bits and bobs, just scratching around. To be honest, today is just more about spending some time on the water in what can only be described as biblical scenery. This place is truly stunning, and if you haven't been and boated and fished here, you need to get yourself into the Boatlife Fishing Championships from the 18th and 19th of May. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I'm really enjoying not having a rod in my hand and just being out here looking at this awesome scenery with John and Gav. It's really been a fantastic day. So hopefully we're going to find a bigger pollock before we get back in, easy for me to say, and then we're going to head back into the marina and go and grab a beer. Really genuinely mind-blowing scenery here in North Wales. So we stuck around this gorgeous cliff face for a while and cameraman Sam managed to find one of those bigger pollock we were after, but we didn't find anything massive. So we were speaking to another angler as he was coming past, and he mentioned there were a few bass in the mouth of Conway Harbour. So we went to the mouth and popped on some bass jigs and tried to find exactly that. And it wasn't long before once again cameraman Sam got a rod in his hand and had a lovely little schoolie bass to finish off the day, taking us to 7 species on what was a lovely day out on the water in North Wales.
First bass of the year for me. Quick cast. Happy days.
Cameraman always catches.
He does always manage to find a way to get a rod, but I'm happy.
We're just going to have a quick recap of some of the fishing that we've been doing today. Now, I'd never fished the area. I'd just had a look at it on Navionics, and I'm using a bit of watercraft. We'll talk to Gav at some of the places that we've seen. Some areas of rocks, some areas of banks, some tide rips, things like that. Speculated about what type of fish we thought we might catch, and then aimed our rigs and our baits towards it. Thankfully, we managed to catch most of the fish that we set out to catch. We had from like 8 or 9 species where we thought there's a possibility of catching them, and we managed 7 of them. Yeah. The only ones that I was quite surprised about is that we never caught any wrasse. And I was speculating there also that there was a lot of seals around. I don't know if we managed to see them in the camera, but every 5 or 10 minutes those seals popping up. And it is still cold. I mean, that temperature today, I was looking at, it was just shy of 10 degrees. Managed the pollock, the whiting, mackerel, herring, dogfish, gurnard, bass, and I don't know, I think that was it. But yeah, just by mixing up what we were doing and adapting, we knew that the wind was picking up in the afternoon and it was going to make things uncomfortable. The wind and the tide together was a drift of like 2.4 knots at one point, so it was just too much. Yeah.
But I think given the time of year as well, and like you said, the water temperature, I think that 10 degrees is that magic number. As soon as it reaches over that 10.
As soon as it seems to tip over it. Yeah.
And that's when things switch on.
We were talking as well, if I was going to do anything else different. I mean, everything that we targeted, every method that we used today, it did produce fish. The only thing I would maybe tweak, and that's just from noticing what was happening today, was we were getting a lot of drop bites when we were drifting on the banks. And like I said, I speculated that more fish were landed on the smaller hooks. So I would scale all the hooks down to smaller hooks and smaller baits.
Yeah, to try and pick those little species up.
Other than that, those are just fine-tuning the rigs that we were using. So I'm glad we
did
really well. I thought we did great anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. It's been a good day. It's been great.
All we need to do now is just we'll have another walk around the boat and then we'll pack it up. Yeah. But yeah, it's looking good. If the water warms up a little bit more, we've got what, 5 weeks until the competition. Yeah. That water creeps up over 10 degrees. It should be.
I think it will. We're in the middle of a cold snap at the minute, so like I said, that water temperature, once it creeps over that 10 mark, then hopefully things will switch on.
Fingers crossed.
Right, so that's it. Our day here in Conway is over. It's been brilliant to have the guys. And Gav, thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
It's been great to see you. Cheers, John. It's been a pleasure as always a laugh. John has been ribbing me all day, which is just brilliant. That's why I come here to spend time with John. We've had a great time on the water. These guys have definitely been able to find the fish. Like they've said in the previous clip, all of the fish apart from wrasse, which is ridiculous that we thought we'd find, we found. I think there's a few more wrasse on the other side from speaking to one of the anglers. I think closer to your neck of the woods, around the corner of the island is where he seems to be catching them. But it's been a fantastic day here in Conway. This really is a truly magical part of the world, and we're really excited to be back here from the 18th and 19th of May for the Boatlife Fishing Championships. So like I've said in the video multiple times, if you haven't already, sign up for the privateers event on the Sunday and come and say hello. A bit of a social on Saturday, and we'll have a fun competition which the winner will be walking away with £2,000. So we'll see you here.